Can you explain how caregivers can do this well, how they can set boundaries? You've talked about the art of saying no and the art of saying yes. So what does this tangibly look like in real life?
Well, we have to give ourselves, here it is again, give ourselves permission to look at a situation and decide what's right for us.
Okay.
So one of the other myths about caregiving is that because we have caregiver responsibilities, that everybody else just gets to tell us what's going to happen. And I don't think that that's true at all. And so part of the art of saying no and the art of saying yes is really intentionally choosing what you want and what you don't want. And then, of course, part of the art of that is learning to communicate that to people when you need to. And I know that that's really hard to do, right. But it all goes back to knowing that you get to make some decisions. I mean, it's the holidays. Let's talk about what if somebody shows up at your doorstep with an overnight bag and says, "Hey, I'm staying in your guest room tonight."
What do we do? How do we respond?
What do you do? I mean, it's that's not a given. You don't have to say that. Actually, in one of my recent podcast episodes, I give a script for how you would handle that. But you can say, "Oh, it's so good to see you, but I don't have a guest room available tonight." And part of the art of saying no, by the way, this is really hard, is saying no and then just stop talking. Don't justify it. Don't rationalize it. Don't open up negotiations. If what you're saying is really kind of a hard no, then just say the thing and stop. And then repeat the thing if you need to. You don't have to argue. You don't have to negotiate if you don't want to. And a situation where someone shows up and really tries to take advantage of you is probably one of those times to just say, actually, that's not going to happen. And then just stop talking.
Oh my goodness, that is so hard. I find myself often when I'm saying no, I give a very long and detailed reason. This is why I can't do it. So that we understand. No, I don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, right?
And it doesn't make your no any stronger.
Yeah, but I feel like it feels like it does, right? It feels like, this eases
be careful.
The no.
All right, we've been tricked.
Yeah.
That is what we've been taught. What we've been taught is that human giver syndrome, we should try to make other people more comfortable at all costs. And so if we try to soften a no in order to kind of protect their feelings, then what we're doing is we're really opening a door for them to ignore our no. And so one of the things to do, part of the art of saying no is to remember that your responsibility is to be clear and thoughtful. Now, however another person reacts isn't your responsibility, and it's also not your fault. I mean, everybody in my family who's an adult is an adult.
Yeah.
We all get to have our own feelings. Sometimes we're going to disagree. That's all fine. But, sometimes I'll say most of the time when you say no, you probably are willing to negotiate about something.
Sure.
That's life. It's a give and take. Sometimes you're going to say no, and it's more of an ultimatum. Right? Like, no, get off my doorstep. You're not staying here tonight. You don't have to say it that way unless you want to. Be my guest. Say whatever works for you. But if you don't want to negotiate, stop talking. Don't negotiate. It's really hard because when you try to soften it, guess what? You soften it. And then people try to take advantage of you.
Yeah, this is so important, I think, in all relationships in our lives, right? Not just for family caregivers. Yes, it's very important for family caregivers, but for people in general, being able to say yes and to say no and to set expectations and set boundaries.